So after watching Loki, I have this idea that Avengers Kang Dynasty is going to have two main plot threads. The first is that it's going to show all these different Kang variants wiping out various superheroes in the respective universes. And that the second plot thread is going to be the multiversal Avengers, however that team comes together and whoever it consists of, traveling the multiverse and then rescuing what superheroes they can, realizing that like the Kang variants are all over the place, right? That they are killing off various superheroes. They'll be a little late to the game, so that'll explain why we don't have hundreds of Iron Man variants and hundreds of Captain America variants, because by the time the superheroes realized what was going on, and by the time the Time Variance Authority was able to muster a superhero team, assuming they're the ones that bring it together, so many superheroes had already been killed. So then you go into Avengers Secret Wars. This has two main plot threads. The first one is that it gives us the main conflict between the Kang variants and the surviving superheroes across the multiverse, and then they're taken by surprise with the Incursions. Now, the whole idea of them taken by surprise with the Incursions is a very important plot thread here, and that is something that I do want to talk about. So for those of you guys who are familiar with the Incursions in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you already know that it's the result of just excessive travel between realities. We learned that in Doctor Strange 2, when that reality's version of Reed Richards, John Krasinski, was talking to the main Marvel Cinematic Universe version of Doctor Strange and saying, our reality's counterpart, who was part of our Illuminati team, was dreamwalking, and he accidentally caused an incursion. So after Thanos was defeated, we had to destroy him, right? He had to go away. And of course, they tried to kill the main Marvel Universe Doctor Strange because he's always a threat. The other way that we know that is because Janet Van Dyne, in her conversation with that variant of Kang from the Quantum Realm in Quantummania, literally, he told her that during the first multiversal war, there were endless incursions because all these Kangs were traveling between dimensions, between universes, and they were all fighting each other. Here's the kicker to all of this. Pretty much anybody who knows about the Incursions is basically dead. There's not really even any indication, as far as I'm aware, that the TVA knows about Incursions. They haven't really referenced it as far as I recall. I could be wrong, so I'm not going to take that as an absolute truth. But as far as I'm aware, they haven't referenced the idea of Incursions and universes ending due to excessive travel between realities. And so everybody who was part of the Illuminati in Doctor Strange 2, they were destroyed by Scarlet Witch, so they can't tell anybody. Janet Van Dyne, sure, she knows, but she was told by a variant of Kang who's already been destroyed, presumably, that this took place during the first multiversal war. But she's not aware of all the other Kang variants that exist out there because of the events of Loki. So there's no reason for her to bring it up. There's no reason for her to tell anybody about it. So in effect, the Incursions are basically happening in secret. No one knows that they're taking place except for maybe the Kangs. And so that's why I think that during the events of Kang Dynasty, the superheroes will learn about the Incursions. And so I think what's going to happen is during Avengers Secret Wars, they're going to kind of have to make a choice. They're going to say, like, which one of these is the more significant threat? The Incursions, which are resulting in universes crashing into each other and wiping everything out, or these variants of Kang? And I think they're going to decide the Kang variants are the greater threat here. The reason being because they're going to follow the line of logic that Doctor Doom had during the events of the Incursions in Marvel Comics. So for those of you guys who aren't familiar with how the Incursions unfolded in the comic books, one, it's way more interesting than what you see in the comics. And two, it's all because of Doctor Doom. Now, I'm not saying that Doctor Doom is going to be a focal point in Secret Wars, or he's going to play anywhere near as big of a role. I don't know. It'd be cool if he did. But in the comic books, the Incursions happened because there was a group of beings out there called the Beyonders. And the Beyonders had this experiment they wanted to conduct, where they basically engineered and deposited in every single universe a guy named Molecule Man Owen Reese. This guy has the ability to alter matter on the molecular structure, really the atomic structure, throughout the entirety of a universe. What that meant is that when he dies, the whole universe would die with him. And what the Beyonders wanted to do was kill all the Molecule Men in every universe across the multiverse at the same time, just to see what would happen, because it would destroy the multiverse. Doctor Doom and Molecule Man from the main Marvel universe realized what was going on. So they traveled to an alternate reality. That alternate reality version of Molecule Man was killed. The whole universe was destroyed. And what it did is it pushed the universes next to it into the universes next to them, so on and so forth. That's how the Incursions started. The kicker about all this is that at the end of Jonathan Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers run, when you have the Molecule Man, Doctor Doom, and Doctor Strange as far as they're concerned, the last three surviving beings throughout the entirety of the multiverse, prior to their attack on the Beyonders, Doctor Doom asked Doctor Strange, tell me, do you think it would be worth it if we could save and salvage at least something? And that's what the superheroes are going to do, right? They're going to say, look, yes, there's these incursions. These incursions are crashing into whole universes. We don't even know how to stop that yet, but we do know how to stop these Kangs. So we'll focus on them. Then we'll worry about the incursions later. The problem is that the longer the fight goes on, the more universes are destroyed. And that whether it's because by the time Avengers Secret Wars ends, there's only one universe left, and that's the one that they're all fighting in, or if it's because there's only a handful of universes left, and by whatever manner and whatever means, everything is going to come to an end. What's going to end up happening here is we're going to come to this realization: the incursions cannot be stopped. There's no conceivable way of stopping these universes from crashing into each other. It's just way too big. It's way too huge, right? That's how it worked in the comics. Iron Man knew that as soon as he learned about the incursions. He knew about it before anybody else did. He just let everybody believe there was a chance to win, right? Just kind of letting them do their thing, but knowing there was no possible chance to win. It was amazing. Captain America beat the hell out of him when he found out. It was awesome. But the fact remains here, right? That by whatever manner and whatever means, we're basically going to see the full-on collapse of the multiverse, and that it's all going to coalesce into a singular timeline that's going to be called New Universe. Now, I say New Universe not for any particular grandiose reason. It's not like it was referenced in Loki or anything like that. It's because in Marvel Comics, they had a line of stories called New Universe. It was cool. It was like what would happen if people with powers existed in the real world, not the Ultimate Universe. There was no Spider-Man, there was no Captain America, none of that stuff. It's just regular people. You got like the White Event and stuff like that. It was pretty dope. But it would make sense they would simply just call it New Universe, and that's it. But it's a singular timeline going forward. But with all that being said, guys, I want to know what you all think. And if you're curious about the incursions in Marvel Comics, click this link to the playlist because it'll take you to Jonathan Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers run. And you'll find a lot of similarities between what's been happening with Loki, what happened in Doctor Strange 2, everything in the multiverse saga, all that kind of stuff, the incursions, the whole 9 yards, it's all covered there. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section, and I will catch you all later. Peace.